Hi everybody, welcome back to Taji's World of Books and welcome to another book series recommendation video. Hey you guys, so welcome back. So I am here to talk to you about another book series that I read that was absolutely fantastic, and I want to recommend it to you because I think that you should read it and I think that you're going to love it. And it's by a new author to me, and that is M. O'Keefe. I have not read anything by M. O'Keefe previously, and I'm not sure who recommended this to me or how I found out about this series, but somehow it made it on my TBR, and so I'm here to talk to you about this series. So without further ado, let's talk about it. So this is called the Everything I Left Unsaid series. There are 4 books in the series, and the first 2 books cover one brother, Dylan, and then the second 2 books cover his brother, and it's his story. So let me tell you about Dylan first. So it's Everything I Left Unsaid, The Truth About Him, and then the other 2 books I'll put over here because you can only get on Kindle Unlimited, and that is Burn Down the Night and then Wait for It. Okay, so what is this about? Everything I Left Unsaid is about a girl named Annie, or woman named Annie, and we are first introduced to her at a trailer park where she has clearly escaped a situation. She's battered and bruised, she's dyed her hair, and she's living in this rundown sort of RV in a trailer park in the middle of the South in North Carolina, and we don't know how she's got there, and we don't really know her story. She has just moved in, and she moved in with the idea that she would be a groundskeeper on the trailer park in exchange for free living accommodations in this rundown trailer. And so the girl that was living there previously sort of took off. Okay, so make a long story short, while the first day that she's there, the girl left all of her previous stuff there, and she hears a cell phone ringing. And she's like, what is that? What is that ringing? What is that noise? And she goes to in the cushions of the sofa is a cell phone, and it's ringing. And so she answers the phone, and it's this dude that has like a really raspy, sexy, cool baritone voice. And she starts to have a conversation with him, and what she finds is that he was paying the previous girl, he never met her, never saw her, he was paying the previous girl, an obscene amount of money to watch one of the elderly neighbors. And so Annie's like, what's the deal? What's going on with this neighbor, and why do you want his information? And so it's very clear that this guy has secrets, but he clearly wants this elderly man watched. He doesn't want the elderly man to know that he's watching him. He just wants to keep tabs on him, and Annie is gonna take over that role. But she is attracted to his voice. They have a cute banter, they have a cute dynamic going on, and there's clearly more to the story. Dylan is the guy on the other end of the phone, and he is clearly attracted to Annie's banter and the things that she says. He knows she's hiding secrets by the way she answers the phone, and their story sort of evolves and, really starts there and becomes more of a suspense, a romantic suspense. What is Annie running from? What is her hidden past? Why does she have bruises all over her? Who is Dylan? Why won't he come out of the woodworks? Why does he never leave his home? What is his background? What is his story? Why is he watching this old man? What's going on? And how do their stories come together and collide? And so this is a really intricate, cool tale that weaves in MC with syndicate crime. There's a strip club down the street, that has like strippers that are kind of like, involved in the MC. There's a drug trafficking ring. There is CIA involvement and government operatives and DEA agents. There is a sex trafficking ring, and then a cult. That's also. So there's a lot going on in this series. It's really interesting how she weaves all of this together. And then there's the spice, the sexy sort of component of having phone sex with someone and not knowing someone and not having ever met them, but being very intrigued by them and wanting to meet them and wanting to develop, a ongoing relationship, but having both parties be really terrified of any kind of commitment and terrified of moving anything forward and doing any more. but your feelings pull you nonetheless. And this is that story. And so it's everything I left unsaid and ends on a cliffhanger. And then it goes into the truth about him. And so really, as you can tell, this is going to be really Annie's story, and this is going to be Dylan's story, and how those things all come together. And it is amazing and so well done. It is an overall 5 rating, a spice of a 4, and an angst of a 4. They're really, really good reads. And it's not over the top angsty, but it's just enough. It's like really perfect, and it's a perfect balance of, you know, watching characters grow, come out of their shells, and seeing that they are broken in themselves, but when they come together, they make each other stronger, because each one brings out the best assets of the other and then encourages the other to leave all of those broken pieces behind. There are some trigger warnings, you know, that you need to check out and you need to be aware of if you're a sensitive reader to, you know, DV or intimate partner violence. If you are, you know, sensitive to, you know, any kind of discussion around trafficking or anything like that, then you should probably check them out. But other than that, these are really, really good reads. Okay. So then the next book in the series, which I'll put over here, and that is Burn Down the Night. And like I said, Dylan has a brother, and his brother is connected to the MC. He is the president of the MC, and his brother's name is Max. We also were introduced to the female heroine, and I don't remember her name. I can't remember. Her name is Joan. So Joan is the love interest on this side, and we are introduced to her in this book as well as this book. She's living at the trailer park. She also works at the strip club. She clearly has some secrets to hide. She just reveals who she is and what's going on, and is that the truth, and what will we learn about her? And as this sort of ends up, Max and Joan's paths collide, and so they then go on a journey of self-discovery, of trying to work through issues. Joan has a lot of history and a lot of issues with control. She also, you know, expresses herself, and she's bisexual. She's very sexually free and very open, and really doesn't want to be held back in any way. So that comes out a lot in these next 2 books. And definitely, as I said, in Burn Down the Night, it's like, are these two going to burn down the night together? Are they going to be able to survive the flames that sort of come up? And it is fascinating, really, really well done. And, you know, as I said before, like, Max has a lot of history to overcome with his father, as well as, you know, history with his brother Dylan, because it was because of Max that Dylan got into a lot of trouble. Some things happened to Dylan. So Max is really trying to overcome a lot of guilt that he has, but with Joan's help, they are able to overcome and, you know, work through those issues. And again, I gave this a 4-star because, you know, Joan's issues, Joan does a lot of things that, there are tropes in here that I don't like, and that is like, I am going to leave despite what you say to spare you any heartache and heartbreak, and I think it's better for you if I'm just not around. Like, I don't like it when characters make decisions for other characters. I think that it is important that everybody gets to make their own choice. And if I go into a situation knowing all of the information and it doesn't work out, then I'm an adult and I get to make that choice on my own. But don't just take off and make me chase you, you know, across city and country lines, like to try and narrow you down and grovel and beg you to stay with me. Like, either you're gonna be with me or you're not. That's my deal. So Joan does that kind of stuff, and I don't like it. So because of that, I knocked it down. So I gave it a 3.75. It is definitely spicy, so I gave it a 3, and like angst, I gave it a 4. So it's a good read nonetheless, but it's definitely not as good as the first two books in the series. And then the last book, and I misspoke a little bit, the last 2 are not about Max. The third one, Burn Down the Night, is about Max. The 4th book is called Wait For It. And Wait For It is another secondary character that appears at the trailer park, mainly in this book over here. And her name is Tiffany. Tiffany has 3 children, and she was married to this dude. I can't remember what his name is, but she was married to this dude, and clearly he's abusive towards her and the children. And that is very noticeable here in these books as well. And Blake is Dylan's business partner, and so Blake comes around, and Blake does some really messed up things to Tiffany over here, but it comes to a head in Wait For It. And so it turns out that Blake is the brother to Tiffany's husband, who is abusive to her. and this is Blake and Tiffany's story. And it's like, how do you overcome dating your brother's wife, secret wife that he never told his family about? So Blake and his family didn't know anything about Tiffany or the children, so they're first being introduced to them. Secondly, it's how do you overcome severely insulting Tiffany and making it appear as though that you believe that Tiffany is a gold digger and is out to scam your family out of money. And then fourthly, like, how do you overcome being a billionaire playboy type figure and now you are interested in a woman with 3 children and a significant history and a significant past? And can she get past all of the doubt and distrust and, you know, anger that she has festering within herself because of her circumstances and her situation, and not project that onto you, but also have a healthy relationship with you? So it's a very fascinating story. It's very interesting. Again, it had a little bit of the tropes that I don't like, which is like, I have a chip on my shoulder, I'm angry at the world, and I'm going to take all of that out on you, and I'm not going to really give you a minute to explain type situation. But Blake does some things that put Tiffany on the defensive, of course. So, you know, in that respect, I was a little bit irritated with both of the characters, but again, I enjoyed it. It was a fascinating read. I gave it a 4-star, I gave it a 4 angst, and I gave it a 3 in spice. So all in all, the Everything I Left Unsaid series was a really good series. The first 2 books for me, the first 2 couples, you know, the first couple in here, Annie and Dylan, are my favorite, but Max's book was fun and fast-paced and, you know, very exciting and very stimulating. Nonetheless, you get a little menage action in that book as well. And then the 4th book, you know, we knew we were going to get Dylan's story, so that again was fascinating and fun as well. So having said all of that, Molly O'Keefe is an author that I think I want to check out. And when I went and looked her up, she actually has a pretty extensive writing history. She's written a lot of different books and a lot of different genres. And so I think I want to go back and check out some of her other things to see if there are other areas that that she's writing in that I want to check out. But I thought that this was fun. I think you'll enjoy it. And really, that's all that I have to say about that. So please check this out. I think, like I said, you'll enjoy it and it'll be a fun read for you. That's all that I have for today. Please do me a favor and like this video because it really helps me with the YouTube algorithm. Hit the bell notification button so you can be notified every time I upload a new video. And that's really all I have for today. So thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye.